Welcome back, YouTube. It's Jay Roebuck. Today, we are going to combine the worlds of sports and music. We're going to discuss 360 deals between media members, between artists, and between creators. Now, we're going to discuss, are 360 deals really a bad thing? Because whenever we hear those words, it immediately comes with a negative connotation. Now, the reason this is a topic is because Gilbert Arenas was on a show with Lo, and shout out to my dog Lo. If you don't know, him and I have debated on House of Highlights. He's very knowledgeable in a content creation space. Now, they were on discussing Gilbert Arenas' deal with Underdog. They went through some of the specifics and why the name of the show changed. And listen, I won't get into all the details right now. We have to break this down into sections so that we can get a grasp of what happened, why it happened, and is it a good or bad thing. So I won't hold you any longer. Let's get into it. If you didn't know, Gilbert Arenas had the hottest sports show on YouTube. They amassed hundreds of millions of views over the course of about a year and a half. They had many guests such as Stephen A. Smith and other NBA players. The show featured Brandon Jennings, Kenyon Martin, Rashad McCants, and other notable figures. But if you were to go on YouTube right now and type in Gil's Arena, that will no longer appear. You would find a YouTube channel titled The Arena. So we're going to watch a clip that explains why the name changed. We're also going to learn a little bit about why Gilbert Arenas went into this specific business deal that I'm going to call a 360. That seems like a 50-50 split, but it might be a little unfavorable depending on how you view things. Let's take a look.
Who owns the channel?
50-50.
Oh, okay. Well, it sounds like 49-59. I mean, 51-49.
No. Well, okay. So here was the deal. So, because this is my question.
Okay.
So this was my original channel that I built.
Okay.
So basically, what I did is I said, here we can use my channel instead of going with what was that? Showtime, Josiah. What was that first company that I was trying to come in?
What Showtime basketball, right?
Yeah. So I said instead of us going on Showtime, I got a YouTube channel. And I said, listen, I'll give you guys 50% of the YouTube channel if you guys fund it. If you guys can have full control, like where it comes to thumbnails, creating, because I didn't know nothing about none of that. So you guys had the infrastructure. You give me the infrastructure, we're good. And that's how it went.
So Gil breaks it down. 50% of the YouTube channel belongs to Underdog, right? They are his investors. But you might ask yourself, why would a creator who's built this cult-like following, who amassed all of this money, who was already rich prior to doing this, why would they give up control of their platform? Why would they sign away the rights to at least half of the operation? Well, let's talk about it because there are some positives when it comes to this. Gilbert explains, Underdog already has the infrastructure. They know how to run a media company. Gil was a basketball player. He's not really a creator, right? He doesn't come from that cloth. He hooped his whole life. This is brand new to him. So if I can partner with a company that can handle these things, it makes my job that much easier. I don't have to make thumbnails. I don't have to study analytics. I don't have to get in tune with my base. The company will run the business aspect. When it comes to HR and dealing with employees and paying employees and dealing with issues that arise from dealing with people, the company has the backing and the structure to do it. So why should I deal with it? Then he talks about the studio build out, right? You've seen a bunch of different sets over the course of the past 2 years. Gil is not paying for that. He's going to rely on Underdog to give them the best possible look and production. So from his basketball background, he has to learn a lot of things very quickly in order to grow. But he'd rather rely on a company that has the expertise rather than do it himself. And that's one of the luxuries when you have money already, is that you're not in such a rush. You can build with someone rather than build on your own. Now, as Lowe's asking these questions, he's a little bit befuddled because this really caught him off guard. I don't think he didn't think that he was gonna uncover as much as he really did. And Gil was being kind of honest, maybe too honest, and maybe you don't want everyone in your business. So Lowe begins to question him, and I'm going to go through the reasons why a creator would not want to go into a deal like this. And the first is creative control. You are now beholden to a company that has invested in you. So if you watch earlier in the interview, Lo asked him, well, how many times are you going to do the show now? And they say, oh, we're going to do it twice per week because we have to do football. And they might not want to push basketball out as much because basketball doesn't really dominate until after football is in the winter, right? Basketball season heats up around the Christmas Day games. So they have already lost control over how many times they do the show, right? So they lose something when they bought into this deal. Another thing that's important to remember is the name of the show changed. Right? It's no longer Gil's Arena, it's The Arena. Why would they remove Gil's name? If you remember, Gilbert Arenas got himself into some legal trouble and he's still fighting a case that had to do with gambling, right? So once you run into any type of issue that you get public criticism for, the company can remove you or remove your name because they don't want bad publicity. They don't want certain things attached to their name. You now have to hold yourself to corporate standards. You, in somewhat way, you become an employee. So you don't get to call all the shots. You may have a voice, you may have a say, but you don't own the bottom line anymore. You have a partner. Gil says it's 50-50. It might not really be that. It might be 51-49. So Gil now has to hold himself accountable for all the actions that he does moving forward, because anything he does puts not only him at risk, his company at risk, but also all the people he brought along with him. But how does this relate to music and artists that we talk about on this channel? I've given you the pros and cons of getting into a deal like this, but how does it look from the things that we talk about? All right. Many artists sign deals like this because they need the structure and they need the machine behind them to push them and push their name. Every aspect of your career can be managed within a label, for better or for worse. Marketing teams, right? Your budget is controlled through the label. Your A&R deals, the music, the production, all of that is handled in-house by the label. They are a one-stop shop if you choose to do business that way. Think about any artist who's out right now who's at the top of the game. Drake, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole. None of them are solely independent. The label has the infrastructure behind them. They may have their own teams that do the deals, right? Kendrick has PG Lang that deals with the marketing and the artistic and creative direction. Drake has his own touring machine that moves the rig from place to place. Drake has his own production in place, but they still have the label behind them because everything is handled in-house, even on the legal aspect, even where the masters may be held at the moment. All of that is done with the label. If you look at A Boogie, when they went into their first deal, they went into a partnership, right? They maintained control, but they still partnered with a major because majors have the control and they have the connections with radio, with streaming companies. No matter which way you put it, labels are heavily invested in the biggest artists in the game. But now let's look at the flip side of that. You can look at Joe Budden and the media. Joe Budden's whole thing has been independence. But he's run into his problems. He's now had to lean on Ian to build the backbone and the structure of that company. And there have been growing pains. Look at what happened with Rory and Mal when it came to being employees or it came to paying people and pay transparency. That was a huge hiccup that might not have happened if Joe was partnered with a major company. Right? You can look at an artist like Russ, who sells hundreds of thousands of tickets, does a bunch of physical sales, sells out arenas, but he's not a household name because he doesn't have that machine behind him. He doesn't want to partner with a label, even though he may benefit from it when it comes to fame and notoriety. When you look at LaRussell, another artist with a die-hard fan base who shows up to his backyard where he grew up to party with him and celebrate with him. His fan base is one of the best in the business, but he's not a household name, and it has nothing to do with talent. It's because he doesn't have that major label backing or that infrastructure behind him that can really push him to the next level. So when we look at deals like this with Gilbert Arenas, it's the same thing as the music game. Are you going to partner with a company that is well established to make yourself more popular and to take some of that burden off of your back? Or are you going to do it by yourself, which requires a lot more upfront work, but will pay you off in the long run because you are going to eat forever? You are going to own the name, the IP, the image, the likeness, the audio, the video forever, versus if you partner with a company, they're going to want a piece of the pie. right? You see that in music, you see that in media. And now that the worlds are colliding even more between music, sports, and media, deals like this are only going to get bigger and better. You are going to continue to see creators pushed to the forefront, some done organically and independently, and some done by major business and corporate backing, right? This is the world we live in. So this is a quick video. I just wanted to break this down to you. I hope you found some interest in it. Let me know what you think about these deals. Let me know what you think about partnering with big corporations. Does it hurt the art? Does it help the art? Are you down with 360 deals? If a company were to come offer me a bunch of money right now, I would probably take it. I'm a small creator. I don't have the infrastructure to grow. If I was backed by a NBC, a CBS, like a major company like Underdog, but they could provide that structure for me. So if you're a small creator, would you do a deal like this? Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, make sure you check out the merch. It's linked in the video. Like, subscribe, tell a friend to join the channel. And if you want more videos like this, please leave a positive comment and save the hate for somebody else because I don't need it. Salute.